The stars shined above Earth, but something dark was coming. The HFY Dominion had made their decision. Humanity was too dangerous to be left alive. They believed humans were a threat to the balance of the galaxy. Now, they were coming to destroy Earth. Captain Ethan Carter stood on the bridge of the UES Valor, his face tense. The message from Earth's High Command repeated on the screen. We run, or we die. The choice was clear. There was no way to fight the Dominion's massive fleet. The only hope was to escape. How many ships have launched? Ethan asked. Lieutenant Marcus Reed checked the numbers. Only 70% of the evacuation fleet is in the air. The rest are still loading passengers. Ethan clenched his fists. We're running out of time. If the Dominion arrives before we leave, there will be no escape. The bridge crew worked fast. Ships from all over Earth rose into space, carrying millions of people. They were heading toward the jump point, the only way out of the solar system. But it was not fast enough. Sir, we have incoming signals, Ensign Rachel Moore shouted. Ethan turned to the main screen. Red dots appeared, moving quickly. The Dominion fleet had arrived. Their ships were enormous, black like shadows, with glowing red engines. They blocked the escape route. They're charging weapons, Marcus warned. Ethan's heart pounded. Tell all ships to move faster. We need to get out of here. The Dominion's first attack hit hard. Energy beams struck the outer ships of the evacuation fleet. Explosions lit up space. People screamed over the communication lines. The HFY were not giving any warnings. They were here to destroy. We need to buy time. Ethan said, Lieutenant Reed, take us forward. We will draw their fire. The UES Valor moved ahead, its engines burning bright. Other human warships followed. They fired back, but their weapons were weak against the Dominion's powerful shields. Still, they had to try. Captain, we have lost 4 ships already, Rachel reported. Keep fighting. Ethan shouted. We just need a few more minutes. The evacuation ships pushed toward the jump point. Each second felt like an eternity. More Dominion ships arrived, but they focused on the human warships, ignoring the fleeing civilians. Sir, the first wave of evacuees has reached the jump point, Marcus said. Ethan took a deep breath. Good. Keep them moving. The battle raged on. More human ships exploded, but more evacuation ships jumped away. The HFY were ruthless, but they did not realize something important. Humanity was not just running. They were learning. Every move the Dominion made, the humans watched. Every weakness, every pattern, they studied. Captain, we are losing shields, Rachel warned. Ethan knew they would not last much longer. Prepare to jump. All ships, retreat now. One by one, the remaining human ships activated their jump drives. The UES Valor was one of the last to leave. As they jumped, Ethan took one final look at Earth. Fires burned on its surface. The planet was lost. When the UES Valor emerged from the jump, they were in empty space. Other ships appeared around them, damaged but alive. They had escaped. Ethan exhaled. We made it. Marcus nodded. But what now? We have nowhere to go. Ethan looked at the stars ahead. We run, but not forever. One day, we will stop running. And when we do, the Dominion will regret what they have done. Humanity had lost their home, but they had not lost hope. The journey had begun. The stars stretched endlessly ahead. The evacuation fleet drifted in the dark, silent and tired. They had escaped, but they had no destination. Fear and confusion spread among the survivors. Captain Ethan Carter stood on the bridge of the UES Valor. He looked at the people around him. Their faces were pale, their eyes full of questions. They had lost their home. Now they had to find a new one. How many ships are left? Ethan asked. Lieutenant Marcus Reed checked the numbers. 86 ships made it through the jump. Some are damaged, but they can still move. Ethan sighed. And the people? Rachel Moore, the communications officer, looked at her screen. About 4 million survivors, more than we expected, but still, so many were left behind. Silence filled the room. They had done their best, but it was not enough. The HFY had taken everything from them. Now, they were alone in space. We need a plan, Ethan said. We can't just float here. The Dominion will come after us. We need a place to hide. Daniel Hayes, the chief engineer, spoke up. We don't have enough fuel to keep moving forever. We need resources, food, water, energy. We have to find a planet, Rachel said. Somewhere we can land, repair the ships and rest. Ethan nodded. Scan the nearby systems. We need a safe place. Hours passed as the fleet drifted. Finally, the scanners found something. A small planet in a distant system. It had air, water, and enough land to set up a base. It was not Earth, but it was something. It's not perfect, Marcus said, but it's our best option. Ethan made the decision. Send the coordinates to all ships. We move now. The fleet activated their engines and turned toward the new planet. It was a long journey, but hope had returned. For the first time since the attack, they had a goal. As they traveled, Ethan walked through the ship. He saw families huddled together. Children slept in the corners, unaware of how much had changed. Soldiers stood guard, ready for any danger. Engineers worked tirelessly to keep the ship running. Everyone had a role. Everyone was needed. Hours later, they reached the new planet. It was a rocky world with large oceans and thick forests. Clouds moved slowly across the sky. It was untouched, silent, waiting. We're here, Ethan said. Prepare to land. The ships descended carefully. Dust and wind swirled as they touched the ground. For the first time in weeks, people stepped onto solid land. Some fell to their knees, crying. Others looked around, wondering if this could be their new home. Daniel led a team to check the environment. Air is good. Water is drinkable. We can stay here for now. Ethan gave the order. Set up shelters. We start fresh. The survivors worked together, building tents, gathering food, and securing the area. Soldiers patrolled the perimeter, watching the sky for any sign of the Dominion. They knew they were not safe yet. That night, Ethan stood outside, looking up at the stars. He thought of Earth, now a burning ruin. He thought of the people left behind. He thought of what the future might hold. Marcus joined him. Do you think they'll find us? Ethan took a deep breath. Maybe, but we won't be running forever. One day, we'll be ready to fight. The wind blew through the trees. The night was peaceful, but the war was far from over. Humanity had survived. Now they had to rebuild. And one day, they would take back what was theirs. The sun rose over the new planet, casting a golden glow on the land. The survivors of Earth worked hard to build their new home. They gathered food, built shelters, and repaired their ships. But no one felt safe. They all knew the HFY could return at any time. Captain Ethan Carter walked through the camp. He saw people carrying supplies, cooking food, and watching the sky. He knew they were scared, but they were strong. Humanity had lost its home, but it had not lost its will to survive. Lieutenant Marcus Reed approached. Scouts have returned. They found something in the forest. Ethan followed him to the edge of the camp. A group of scouts stood near a strange metal object half buried in the dirt. It was large, covered in rust, and had markings unlike anything they had seen before. It's not Dominion, one of the scouts said. We think it's old, maybe abandoned for centuries. Ethan ran his hand over the metal. We need to know what's inside. Get Daniel and his team. Daniel Hayes, the chief engineer, arrived with his tools. He worked quickly, cutting through the metal with a laser. After a few minutes, the door hissed open. Inside, there were dark hallways filled with dust and broken screens. Be careful, Ethan warned. We don't know what's in here. The team moved slowly through the ship. The walls had strange symbols, glowing faintly. They found empty rooms, broken machines, and strange devices. Then, in the center of the ship, they found something incredible. A large, circular room held a massive machine. Wires stretched from the ceiling to the floor. In the center, a glass pod held a humanoid figure, frozen in time. Rachel Moore gasped, "Is that a person?" Daniel examined the pod. Not human. The body is taller, the skin is silver, but it's alive. The machine is keeping it in stasis. Ethan looked around. This ship belonged to an ancient race. We need to find out who they were. Maybe they had enemies. Maybe they fought the Dominion before. Marcus frowned. And what if this being is dangerous? What if we wake it up and it attacks us? Ethan thought for a moment. We won't wake it yet, but we need to study this ship. There could be knowledge here that can help us. The team worked carefully, taking notes and gathering data. The more they studied, the more they realized how advanced the technology was. There were weapons, shields, and star maps leading to unknown places. Later that night, Ethan sat with Olivia Brooks, the head of security. "What do you think? Should we stay here or move on?" Olivia sighed. "We don't have much choice. If we run, we may never find another place like this. But if the Dominion finds us, we won't be ready to fight." Ethan nodded. "Then we prepare. We learn everything we can from this ship. We use it to get stronger." The next morning, the engineers worked on powering up some of the ship's systems. Lights flickered, and a hum filled the air. But as they activated one of the consoles, an alarm blared. "What's happening?" Ethan shouted. Daniel checked the screens. A signal was sent. I think it went into space. Marcus's face went pale. If someone was listening, they'd know we're here. Ethan clenched his fists. "Then we get ready, because if the Dominion is coming, we won't run this time. We will fight." The camp buzzed with activity. People trained, weapons were prepared, and defenses were set. The time for hiding was over. Humanity had been running for too long. Now, they would stand their ground. The alarm echoed through the camp. People stopped working and looked up at the sky, fear in their eyes. The signal had been sent, and now they waited. Would the Dominion come? Would they have time to prepare? Captain Ethan Carter stood at the center of the camp, his hands clenched into fists. "We don't know who received that signal, but we must assume the worst. Everyone needs to be ready." Lieutenant Marcus Reed nodded. "We have weapons, but not enough. The engineers are trying to understand the alien ship's technology. If we can activate its defenses, we may stand a chance." Ethan turned to Rachel Moore. "Any signs of incoming ships?" Rachel checked the scanners. "Nothing yet, but that doesn't mean we're safe." Daniel Hayes and his team worked inside the ancient ship. They had managed to power up a few systems, but much of the technology was still a mystery. Daniel wiped sweat from his forehead as he examined the control panel. "There must be something here that can help us. Shields, weapons, anything." Olivia Brooks, the head of security, entered the ship. "Any progress?" Daniel shook his head. "This ship is unlike anything we've seen. The materials, the design, it's all advanced. We've barely scratched the surface." She looked at the glass pod in the center of the room. The being inside remained motionless. "And what about that?" Daniel hesitated. "I don't know. The machine is keeping it alive, but we don't know if waking it up is a good idea." Outside, the camp was tense. Soldiers trained, civilians prepared supplies, and scouts watched the sky. Hours passed. Then a beep from Rachel's scanner broke the silence. "Captain, I got something. Ships inbound. Multiple readings." Ethan rushed to her side. "Can you identify them?" She adjusted the scanner. "Not Dominion. At least, I don't think so. The signals don't match theirs." Marcus frowned. "Then who are they?" Ethan grabbed the radio. "Everyone, prepare for possible contact. We don't know if they are friends or enemies." The ships entered the atmosphere. They were sleek, smaller than Dominion warships, and glowed with a soft blue light. They hovered above the camp, silent and still. The tension was thick. Soldiers raised their weapons. Civilians held their breath. Then a voice came through the comms. It was deep calm. "We are not your enemies. We received your signal. We come to talk." Ethan exchanged looks with Marcus and Olivia. "They speak our language. That means they know about us." He took a deep breath and stepped forward. "This is Captain Ethan Carter of the human fleet. Who are you?" A bright light beamed down from the ship, and a figure appeared. It was tall, with smooth gray skin and glowing blue eyes. It wore a simple robe, its movements slow and deliberate. "I am Varen," it said. "My people are the Solari. We have watched your kind for some time. We know what the Dominion has done to you." Ethan narrowed his eyes. "And why would you help us?" Varen's gaze was steady. "Because the Dominion is not just your enemy. They are a threat to all. If they are not stopped, they will consume everything." Silence followed. The survivors listened, uncertain but hopeful. Marcus whispered to Ethan, "If they have technology, they could give us a fighting chance." Ethan nodded. "What do you want in return?" Varen stepped closer. "A partnership. You are stronger than you realize. The Dominion fears you. That is why they chase you. We can show you how to fight them, but you must be willing." Ethan looked at his people. They had been running for so long. Now they had a choice. He turned back to Varen. "Then show us. We are ready." The Solari ships landed, and for the first time since their escape, humanity was no longer alone. Ethan stood before the gathered survivors, his heart pounding. The Solari had offered their help, but trust was not easy. Humanity had been betrayed before. Now they had to decide if they would take this chance. Varen, the Solari leader, watched Ethan carefully. "We understand your fear, but if you do not fight back, the Dominion will find you, and they will destroy you." Lieutenant Marcus Reed crossed his arms. "We don't even know if we can trust you. You say you have watched us, but why didn't you help sooner?" Varen nodded. "We could not interfere directly. The Dominion is powerful. If we had exposed ourselves, we would have been destroyed as well. We had to wait for the right time." Rachel Moore, the communications officer, stepped forward. "And now is the right time." Varen's glowing blue eyes met hers. "Yes, because now you are ready. We have seen your people's strength. You have survived. You have adapted. Now you must learn to fight." Ethan took a deep breath. He turned to Olivia Brooks, the head of security. "What do you think?" Olivia studied the Solari ships. "We need help, Captain. If we keep running, we will never be free. If they can teach us to fight, we should listen." Ethan nodded. He faced Varen. "All right, we will listen. But understand this, we will not be anyone's pawns. We fight for our people, not for your war." Varen's lips curled into something like a smile. "Then let us begin." The next days were filled with training. The Solari had weapons and tactics beyond human understanding. Their energy rifles were powerful, their armor light but strong. They taught the humans how to move, how to strike, how to use the terrain to their advantage. Daniel Hayes, the chief engineer, worked with the Solari scientists. Together, they studied the alien ship. "This technology is incredible," Daniel said. "If we can adapt it to our ships, we might actually stand a chance." The Solari nodded. "We will help you, but there is something you must see first." They led Ethan and his team to a large screen inside their ship. A map of the galaxy appeared. The Dominion's territory spread across it like a dark stain. "This is what you are up against," Varen said. "The Dominion controls thousands of worlds. They do not lose wars. They consume." Ethan stared at the map. "And you think we can stop them?" Varen placed a hand on the screen. "Not alone. But there are others who resist. Small groups, hidden factions. If you fight, they will rise. But they need a spark, a symbol of hope. Marcus frowned. And you think that's us? We've been running for years. Varen turned to him. Yes, because you are the only ones who have ever escaped them. That makes you dangerous. That makes you powerful. The room was silent. The weight of Varen's words settled on them all. Finally, Ethan spoke. Then we will fight. But we need a target. Somewhere we can strike first. Varen pointed to a location on the map. There is a Dominion outpost not far from here. Small, but important. If you take it, you will prove to the galaxy that humanity is not finished. Ethan looked at his people. He saw fear, but also determination. He turned back to Varen. Then we attack. The night before the attack was quiet. The humans and Solari stood together, preparing for the battle ahead. The camp was filled with the hum of weapons being checked, whispers of last-minute plans, and the heavy weight of what was to come. Ethan Carter stood at the center of the camp, looking over his people. They had trained hard, but they had never fought a battle like this. He saw the determination in their faces, but he also saw fear. He knew the risk. If they failed, the Dominion would hunt them down and wipe them out. Lieutenant Marcus Reed walked up to him. The teams are ready. We move at dawn. Ethan nodded. Good. Do we have confirmation from the scouts? Rachel Moore checked her device. Yes. The Dominion outpost has 20 guards, a small control tower, and a supply depot. If we take it, we get weapons and ships. If we fail, we won't get another chance. Daniel Hayes, the chief engineer, joined them. We finished modifying the Solari weapons. They are now set to match human hands. It's not perfect, but it will work. Ethan took a deep breath. All right. We go in fast. We take the outpost, and we get out before reinforcements arrive. No mistakes. The next morning, as the sun began to rise, the fighters moved into position. The Solari ships hovered in the sky, ready to provide support. Ethan, Marcus, and Olivia led the main team toward the outpost. They moved through the shadows, hearts pounding, every step bringing them closer to the fight. They reached the perimeter and crouched behind the rocks. The Dominion soldiers patrolled the area, their black armor gleaming under the morning light. The team waited for Ethan's signal. He raised his hand. Now. Silenced weapons fired. The first guards fell before they could sound an alarm. The team moved quickly, taking down enemies as they advanced. Inside the outpost, alarms blared. More Dominion soldiers rushed out, firing at the intruders. The humans took cover, returning fire with precision. Explosions shook the ground as Daniel's team placed charges on key structures. Olivia shouted, "We need to clear the control tower." Ethan and Marcus sprinted toward the tower, dodging enemy fire. They burst through the doors and fought their way to the top. The Dominion officer inside tried to call for reinforcements, but Ethan shot the console, cutting off communication. "We have control." Ethan called over the radio. "Secure the depot." Rachel and her team stormed the supply area, taking out the last of the soldiers. She found a stack of Dominion rifles and a small transport ship. "We've got weapons and a way out," she said. Ethan looked at the horizon. They had won, but there was no time to celebrate. "Load everything up. We leave now." As they rushed to escape, Marcus spotted something in the sky. "Ethan, we have a problem." A Dominion cruiser was approaching. Reinforcements were coming. Ethan grabbed the radio. "Varen, we need extraction now." The Solari ships swooped down, firing at the cruiser. But the Dominion was ready. Energy blasts rained down from the sky, shaking the ground. The humans sprinted toward the captured transport ship. Olivia fired back at the incoming soldiers, covering their retreat. "Move, move, move." The ship roared to life as Daniel worked the controls. Everyone on board. Ethan was the last to enter, firing one final shot before jumping in. "Go." The ship lifted off, racing into the sky. The Solari ships covered their escape, and soon they were free of the battle. As they reached their base, the survivors cheered. They had done it. They had won. Ethan looked at his people and knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had stopped running. Now, they were fighting back. The ship landed safely at the hidden base. As the doors opened, the survivors stepped out, their faces showing relief and exhaustion. The mission had been dangerous, but they had won. They had taken the Dominion's supplies and weapons, and most importantly, they had shown that humanity could fight back. Ethan Carter stood at the front, looking over his people. "We did it," he said. "We took the outpost, and we got what we needed. But this is just the start. The Dominion will not ignore us now. They will come for us. We have to be ready." The crowd nodded. They had tasted victory, but they knew the fight was far from over. Varen, the Solari leader, stepped forward. "You fought well," he said. "You are stronger than you know, but the Dominion will strike back harder. We must move quickly." Rachel Moore, the communications officer, approached. "We intercepted some Dominion signals," she said. "They know we took the outpost. They are sending ships to hunt us." Daniel Hayes, the chief engineer, frowned. "We can't stay here. If they find this base, they will destroy it." Ethan nodded. "Then we move. We take everything we can carry and find a new place to hide." Marcus Reed, his second in command, spoke up. "Where do we go? They control so much space." Varen pointed at a star map. "There is a system not far from here. It has planets the Dominion has abandoned. We can hide there and plan our next move." Olivia Brooks, head of security, looked at the map. "That's a long trip. If they track us, we could be walking into a trap." Ethan sighed. "We don't have a choice. We have to keep moving." The base became a hive of activity. People packed supplies, loaded weapons, and prepared ships. The Solari helped, sharing their knowledge and technology. As Ethan walked through the camp, he saw hope in the eyes of his people. They were no longer just running. They were preparing for war. That night, before they left, Ethan gathered his leaders. "We have started something bigger than us. We're not just fighting for survival anymore. We're fighting for freedom. We will keep moving, keep learning, and keep fighting. The Dominion thinks they can crush us, but they don't know what humans can do." Marcus grinned. "Then let's show them." With that, the humans and their Solari allies boarded their ships and left the base behind. Their fight had only begun.